Hello everybody and welcome to Techno Games, where today I will be talking about game updates and why they are good and why they sometimes might not be, which is sadly and slowly uh, increasingly becoming the case, which is sad. Uh, yeah. So, game updates. What do I mean by game updates? It's an update or a patch or whatever that is released through the internet or on a disc or recalled or whatever, but these days is usually through the power of the internet or Steam update service, which changes a game after its release. This might be fixing bugs or completely overhauling mechanics, whatever, adding skins, adding a Halloween update even, Valve, would you believe it? And I'm going to talk about why they've been good for gaming, which is obviously a bit more obvious, and why they're not good, which is sadly a thing that's coming up more these days about why updates for games are bad. So, why are game updates good? This is pretty obvious. It allows your game to be polished slash kept alive. So, you have a game, you release it, you find some minor bugs, you can just patch them out. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Your fan base is happy, your guys are happy, everyone's happy, everyone got their money, everyone got what they wanted, and your game is good, polished, and fixed. Which is obviously a very good thing. It keeps consumers happy, consumers get a bug-free game, and obviously this is very consumer side, it keeps consumers happy. They feel like they've spent their money worthwhile, and that they haven't invested on buggy game and that the developers actually support the game they have bought. This is especially true with games like Counter-Strike Global Offensive, where there's been constant updating, fixing bugs and game breaking bugs which you can instantly win a game. Things like that, that's all been fixed through patching, which is obviously a very good thing because it keeps one, the community happy, and two, keeps the game fresh, especially with skins, and the community alive, as they've always got new content to go back to, which is especially the case of skins. Let's be fair, like, probably the only reason Counter-Strike is the global offensive is alive as much as it is right now is a lot of the popularity and publicity from skins. Let's be real here. So that's obviously a good reason to have updates. Updates keep your consumers very happy. But there's also a really dark side to updates, where it's not good for the consumer, but it is very good and very positive outcome. It has a very positive outcome for the developers and the publishers. And this is releasing a game and fixing it later. This sort of ties in with pre-orders a bit, but not too much. This is in the case of a lot like EA, Battlefield 4, and Battlefield Hardline, sadly. Games like that, which really had to be fixed after release, and it's not discouraging in to be honest, publishers, at least for a while, do not care. They can just, yeah, you can get away with it. They've got their money. They can just. So basically, what it would be is EA, let's say, I don't know, just pick any publisher, EA sounds like a pretty good one, huh? Don't think they would ever do anything like this, though. They take a game, and it's buggy and unfinished, or unbalanced, hardline, and they shove it out the door. And they rake in the cash. So EA, first off, is happy, quite obviously. They are swimming in money. His CEO is just happy. He gets his bonus for the year, whatever. Everyone's happy, everyone's got money because they released this unfinished game. Obviously, consumers aren't. The people who bought this game, they're mad. Their game is buggy and unfinished. It has so many. This game is so unfinished. Gordon Ramsay rejected it or something like that. And obviously that's bad. It gives your company bad publicity and it leaves your consumers so that they probably won't go back to your company/series, i.e. Battlefield. I know, Some people might have been lost with Battlefield 4 if they hadn't actually continued supporting it up until this way, which is something I will cover right at the end about how, again, this can be good. So you release your game, raking in the money, and then your consumers are unhappy. So now you patch the game. You patch it, and obviously you patch it, you fix it, whatever, and then your consumers are happy. Consumers are happy, they finally have a fixed game. You're happy, you got your money faster than you would have if you actually made a good game and released it maybe 6 months, 1 year after. Which is why I thought Battlefield Hardline took a good step in took a really good step in releasing 6 months later, as that allowed the devs to have more time. Obviously, they still needed more time. Like, Jesus Christ, they needed more time. They needed a year. Let's be fair, 6 months to a year longer. They shoved Hardline out the door so fast. It was unbalanced, buggy, you know. But I'm not going to touch on specifics too much. So, then you just have this cycle of your developer and your publisher being happy because they get the money 6 months to a year earlier than they would have. And then finally, your consumers initially aren't happy, but then they are because you've patched the game. And it creates this sort of cycle where publishers find it very find it very lucrative to actually release the game unfinished. They get their money earlier. Who doesn't want that? If I could get my pocket money like a week earlier, I totally would do that. So, you know. And then in the end, their consumers are happy and they kind of get a meh rap. They, it's just this cycle. And whenever they release a game, consumers are obviously unhappy, which is obviously why it's bad. But alas, that needs to be stopped. This is the cancer, to use quite a harsh term, cancer in the gaming industry, where developers shoving games out the door, not caring about consumers and how they'll react on day one. They get their money, they get their pre-orders, whatever. You get your pre-order bonuses, we get our money, safe and guaranteed. We don't care how buggy this is. You've already paid us. I'm sorry we didn't make a buggy game. We'll patch it later. That is basically the only way to explain it. So, it's really bad for the industry, and companies really need to stop doing it. Come on, guys. Oh, hello. Companies really need to stop doing it. It's just no. Just no. However, as we've seen with Battlefield 4, updates can be obviously very good, like I said at the beginning. As DICE LA, God bless their little hearts, if God exists, try not to get too deep. They have patched the game, added new content, added new maps, added new free guns to everyone, Jesus. And Hardline, they've tried to keep the community alive by adding new guns to everyone. That is the sort of thing I really want to see in this industry. Keeping games alive by providing content through updates. And keeping publishing a finished game, goddammit, and then making your game better. Make it finished, make it better. Don't make it half-assed, make it finished, make it better, which is what we've seen with Battlefield 4, which is probably one of the reasons, sadly, it has such a large community around it. You've got this game, and they're constantly updating it to obviously try and fix it, whereas a company that maybe had fixed their game might not do that. And that's kept the community coming back to their game, which is the sad truth, that sometimes these things go and keep a game alive. The fact that they are less finished, community comes back to see, is it actually finished? Oh, look, it is! Oh, and then they get a good rap for, goddamn finishing their game. But because it's all in the eyes of it, it's in the view of the consumer, because it's in that, then it's just no. It's in the view of the consumer, so it's, they're doing hard work to finish their game, so they've got to be good. And that's sadly the view on DICE LA, and I mean, DICE LA have done a very good job at actually finishing the game. They've improved the netcode, added new guns, etc, and they've been very good with that. Instead of just dropping Battlefield 4 and saying, this was unfinished, this was buggy, I deeply apologise, but this game is dead meat. It's just dead. It's just dead. They thankfully didn't do that, which is brilliant. And that is the beauty slash curse, I guess, of after release updates. It keeps the community coming back, as you've seen in the case of Counter-Strike Global Offensive. However, sometimes it has enabled developers to really release unfinished games and just unfinished, unpolished, whatever term you want to use. It just allows them to do that, which obviously is not good. It impacts negatively on the consumer, and but they get their money faster, which is ultimately what everything's about, money. So please, game developers, publishers, don't release your games unfinished. It's not good for the consumer, and it's definitely not good overall for your company. EA, Ubisoft, come on, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Techno Budget. This has been Techno Games. This has been Sunday Ramble. Are updates good? Yes and no. Have fun.